Number 8, solving absolute value equations. Learning targets for today, what we're shooting for, you'll be able to solve for a variable using the properties of math, the ones that we've already been doing, and then solve for all solutions of an absolute value equation. What's so different about that? Solutions is plural, so yes, there might be more than one answer for these questions, which makes it a little different. Some vocab that we need to remember. Absolute value. The distance a number is from 0 on the number line. Hopefully that's actually a review. And then property of equality. We'll be using that a lot today with the properties of math, so that whatever we do to one side, we're remaining equal and fair to the other side. Let's take it back to maybe 6th grade. And who remembers the absolute value of -6? Arizona. You got it. It is 6 away from 0. How about the absolute value of 6? Samantha. It is 6. Yes, very good. And those are both the same. And the reason why is they're both 6 away from 0. 3-digit numbers. What is the absolute value of -113? Samantha. 113. Very good. And then the last one, just wanted to throw this in there. If we have the absolute value of 17, but the negative is on the outside, the absolute value of 17 is 17, but this would be equal to -17. Just be careful of that. Okay? All right. What 6th grade teacher did this remind you of? So, now that we got the ball rolling on absolute value, let's use our minds to think about the values of x that would solve this equation. So if it's the absolute value of x equals 8, take a minute, think of some possibilities, and what do you got? Jackson. 1 would be 8, right? So x could equal 8. Are there any others? And -8. There are 2 solutions to the equation. And that's going to be a theme for today. Just think about the fact that there's going to be more than one answer to these problems. Now let's use our reasoning. All right, we know there's going to be 2 answers to just guess and check. All right, guess and check's a strategy. It's fine when it's small and simple. Who could just guess values of x that are going to work? All right, let's try 12. So if x is equal to 12, we're going to take 12, substitute it in. Absolute value of 12 minus 2 hopefully is equal to 10. Subtract first, don't do absolute value, and 12 minus 2 is 10. What is the absolute value of 10? It's 10. We got a winner. I was right. Check. How about another one? Could you think of something else that would work for x? -12. Let's think about that. -12 minus 2 would be -14. So that one didn't work. But is there another one? X was equal to -8. I would put in -8 for x, subtract 2, and equal 10. Well, when we have the same sign, add those up, and it is still a -10. But what's the absolute value of -10? +10, and we've got our 2 answers, -8 and 12. So here's the other rule of thumb. They're not always the same number. It's not always the number and its opposite. So here the answer was 12. The other answer was -8. Don't think that this situation is always going to be the case. Okay? Hopefully that laid the groundwork for what's going on today. And now let's get to the next one here. All right. Shay, put that away. I think it's taken away from your ability to focus up here. So we've got an equation. 2x minus 1 equals 7. And we want to solve for x. But we got that absolute value surrounding it. So before I can do anything, I know there's 2 answers. I know there's 2 ways to solve this. Guessing and checking, we could do, but it might take us a little while. So what's the strategy? Strategy would be to write this as 2x minus 1 equals 7, but then also write 2x minus 1 equals -7. And doing that will give us the two answers. So splitting this into two problems, one with a +7 and one with a -7. Then after that, it's what we've been doing all year, properties of math, where we add 1 to both sides. Property of equality says this would be 2x, because this canceled out, and 8. And then if we have multiplication, undo it with division, and x would be equal to 4. But that's only one of the answers. The other answer would be solving for x over here. Now, when you add 1, you're going to get -6. It's the same steps, but because we're dealing with -7 to start, it will lead to a different answer. Divide by 2, and there you go. End with -3. First thing that we've got to do, split it into two equations. Who could tell me what those two equations are? All right. You got it. So one with a +10 and one with a -10. And then the absolute value is out of the picture. Then we don't have to worry about it. It will give us both of our answers. First thing that we do to solve for x. A lot of people are starting to get this, which is great. Yeah, multiply by 3. Undo the fraction or division, which is multiplying by 3. I'm going to take care of both sides at the same time because, again, it's the same steps. You're just working with a different answer on the right. So cancels the 3's, cancel the 3's, x plus 8. Over on this side, it's +30. Over on this side, it's -30. All right, only one more step after this. Subtract 8, subtract 8. Going to do that over here too. And x is equal to 22, positive over there. And over here, it's going to be -38. Yeah, use that calculator. Remember your integer signs, all right? So you saw this, instantly had to do what? How can I take away these prison bars and break it out of jail? Natalie? I could, but I'm thinking more along the lines of creating two problems. So a -4, x plus 2 equaling 16, and a -4 times x plus 2 equaling a -16. Okay? And now I can distribute. How many distributors do I have out there? How many people distributed? Be honest. Be honest. Okay, that's fine. Let's do it the distributing way, which was totally fine. Pass it out. Make sure you multiply both. -4x minus 8 equaling 16. And then you're going to have to add 8. I'm assuming this all happened, so I'm going kind of fast. 24. Divide by -4 on both sides. X was -6. Yeah, got that? Now the other one, I'm gonna hopefully get this method through. Hopefully this will be the preferred method, the most popular, and that would be to not distribute, but to undo multiplication with division. Yeah, divide by -4 on both sides. Cancels this out, and look where I'm at after that. Now I'm only at x plus 2 equaling +4. I'm almost done. All I would have to do then is subtract 2. So in a few fewer steps, terrible, you would have got the answer a little quicker. So 2 and -6. But either way you went about it is still correct. Questions? Good. All right, 2 to go. 2 to go, and the look on your face says 2's too many, but I got to do it. So, Troy, put it away. This time, it's a little bit different. Just looking at it, what's different about these than the ones we were doing before? Troy, raise your hand. But yes, only x is in the absolute value, which means don't split it up yet, okay? Don't break it up into 2 until we get to the point where it's inside the absolute value. So in this case, you would actually start by adding 7 on both sides. It's free. It's not trapped. It's outside of the absolute value. So I add 7. I got 5. Absolute value of x equaling 40. Is the 5 in or out? It's on the outside. So again, don't worry about making two problems. Simply divide by 5. Cancels the 5's out. I got the absolute value of x equaling 8. We've been here before. Just a few minutes ago. It's up on your paper. What are the answers for the absolute value of the absolute value of x equaling 8? All right. Yeah, we got 2. So this could be x equals -8 and +8. So 2 possibilities there. Now, it doesn't always work like that. Okay, it's not always that just the x is in the absolute value. Sometimes we're going to have x in an operation or something going on inside of it. So let's take a look at this case. First thing that we would do is not break it up into 2. First thing we would do is kind of work to get x by itself. Tell your neighbor, all right? Tell your neighbor what you're going to do first. Do that for me right now. Caitlin? Actually, I would have to do something else first. Yeah, I know everyone misses it, but the first thing is to add 1. All right, I know a lot of people miss that part, but it is what you would start with. And then it would be x plus 3, still an absolute value, divided by 7 equals 9. And is the 7 inside the absolute value? Here it's not. So do what we were kind of told to do a second ago. Multiply by 7. It's going to kick out the 7. It's going to multiply 9 times 7 for 63. It's going to bring this down as x plus 3. Okay. So now we get to this point where we're dealing with the x plus 3 in the absolute value. Now we take what we learned from the first set of examples and we break it up into 2. We go x plus 3 equals 63. X plus 3 equals -63. And voila, you're going to have 2 answers. 63 minus 3 is 60. Subtracting 3 on this side. Is it simply just -60? No, it's -66. All right. So there you have it. Solving for absolute value answers or solutions with your equation skills. You got 2